I got her.
Be careful with that
Hi.
coffee, please.
I'm being very careful with the coffee. That was on the podcast, by the way, baby. That was your first line in the podcast, I think. Hi.
Oh, we started?
Yeah, this is recording for like 10 seconds now.
Oh. Dope.
Hey, what's up? So, show of hands. Raise your hand if you've made the playoffs this year. Sucks to suck if you didn't. No, so we're back. Season ending, regular season ending, and postseason starting podcast. We are going to go through the Week 13 matchups. We are going to go through the kind of regular season wrap up, talk about how that wild Week 13 ended up, and then we'll go into Week 14.
I do think we should talk a little bit about Week 12 and the bullshit that went on with that week too. So,
are you talking about the Week 11 though?
No, I'm talking about Week 12, where it's just like, Daryl squeaks out a win against Brad.
Oh,
You squeak out a win. Like,
all right, hold on.
I just couldn't seem to, like, Miles Sanders just completely shits the bed on Monday night for me.
You made the playoffs.
Job's not finished.
I know, but you're griping about Week 12 already.
I am, because I should have made the playoffs in Week 12.
All right, so let's get into it. We can do a quick run through of Week 12 before we go into the Week 13. So we'll do a quick wrap up of Week 12.
That's also what I want to talk about. Me and you playing each other, and you just always outscore your average by 30 points when you play me.
I mean,
That's totally normal.
I gotta try really
Derrick
maximum effort.
Derrick Henry's gonna drop 35 in the first half for some reason.
That was King Henry, baby. That was amazing. And then, but to be fair, he did come back to earth in Week 13.
Yeah, of course he did, because he's not a 30-point game player.
I don't know about that. I mean, 30 is he's not 30, but
of course he's not 30. Nobody is 30.
His average scoring per week right now is okay.
After having a 37-point day, 18 points.
Yeah. But he's had some monster games.
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that
Let me see.
when he's getting you 30 points in the first half of the game.
That's the second time he's done it this season.
Yeah.
Hey,
37.5, 39.4. What's she doing?
Ruby.
Oh, she's getting her Christmas presents already?
Ruby?
Nice. Get them, Rubes. So yeah, I mean, obviously, Henry helped. The fact that I had a quarterback who got about 20 points was a miracle because I can't seem to do that.
Just keep on,
churning through the waiver wire, hoping for a mildly competent quarterback.
You could have had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, I will also say that this is my team.
This week saved your season.
Yeah,
If you had lost to me this week, I don't think you make the playoffs.
Probably not. And I like the fact that I had that cushion on Daryl gave me a lot of comfort that even if, heaven forbid, I lost to James, that I was still going to be okay because I would have had Daryl, I think, on total points scored.
Yeah.
So, overall, my team's going to go as far as Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams take me. As for you, like, good performance across the board. Like, you can't be mad about how your team did. Right?
Miles Sanders is still the disappointment.
Oh, okay, sorry, you're right.
Aaron Jones getting 9.5. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, this when I made the trade for Aaron Jones, it was he's going to be good weeks 13 through 16. Week 12 was obviously the down week. Chicago has a good defense. A little bit below what I would have wanted.
A
little bit below what I would have wanted. But, like, no, Miles Sanders is just like, I used a third-round pick on him. And Doug Peterson, I think he slept with Doug Peterson's wife. He just refuses to give him the ball all of a sudden. It doesn't make any sense.
Let me see the carries he had that game.
No, like, at the beginning of the year, he was getting, like, 23 touches a game. And, like, in the last, like, 5 weeks, it's like...
Yeah, 6 carries, 2 catches. To be fair, the
10
Eagles...
10 carries, no, like...
The Eagles are a raging dumpster
But
fire.
I'm just saying, when you're looking at, 23, 22, then it got low in 15. This one, he was low, but he still got 2 long touchdown runs. Like...
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you only need 11 carries when you're going to break off a 75-yard touchdown.
Sure, but he really has fallen off with, like, in the last 3 weeks now, 7.6, 5.2, 3.1.
The touches aren't there. The touchdowns aren't there. It doesn't help that Carson Wentz just doesn't know how to play football.
Yeah. Well, they also have a really bad offensive line.
Oh, I know there's been injuries, but Carson Wentz is playing as bad as I think I've ever seen someone play quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like this, like obviously it's not like Nathan Peterman throwing 5 interceptions in the first half of a game.
That's legendary.
But I don't know. I've never I can't believe the drop off that.
Or like I mean, to be fair, there are teams that are playing worse than Carson Wentz is. Just like the team versus player. Like obviously, I want to talk about.
He's the worst quarterback in the NFL. Right
Can we talk about the Jets defense at some point though? Greg Williams. That was amazing. That was wonderful.
It was like he had to have been throwing the game there.
Right?
It's the first time in history a defense has
Run a cover zero.
Well, yeah, they rushed 8. They blitzed 8 people in the last 30 seconds of a game. It's the first time it's ever happened. Like, it's either he was throwing the game, or it's like...
You're really bad at your job. You deserve to get fired.
Gross incompetence, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's great
Highly orchestrated negligence, I guess, is what you could chalk it up to.
What's wonderful is, as a Dolphins fan, it's just satisfying to see them, like, just lose, because that's our rival. That's our biggest rivals. Anyway, so that's enough about our matchup. Alex and McMillan.
But this shit. This is what I'm talking about.
Well, and here's the thing. If McMillan lost this game, it's a completely different case for him, like, in terms of the playoffs, because he has to really... Yeah. He doesn't have to... Well, no, actually, this was actually helpful for you, because if you think about it, now that I'm, like, teasing it out in my head, if he loses this game, he goes to, what? 6 and 6 at that point? Yeah, he'll be 6 and 6 going into week 13. He's with James. So, in theory, that could have really hurt, like, I think James and...
Well, he lost in week 12. He didn't win.
This is week 12.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, this was week 12, this was the week before week 13. If he loses this game,
Ruby.
all of a sudden now, he and James are both vying for potentially a wild card spot if Daryl and I both win out.
I guess my
or if
big
they
thing right
lose.
now is, like, the average... I did it going into week 13, so I don't know how the results shook out after week 13. But I, like, went through it all, and the average that somebody gets... How many average points per game someone gets is around 110 for the league.
Mm-hmm.
It's around 110. Not as high as I actually thought it would be, considering some of the huge scores we've seen.
Sure.
I think it was that I've played against 110 or more. It was like 9 out of 12 weeks, and the next closest person was like 6 weeks. It's like, so on like half of most people's occasions.
How does that work with Jason Smith, though?
So Jason's looks so bad, but you have to remember that once you're giving up 135, what's the difference between 135 and 170?
I mean,
Like,
you're still losing
usually you're losing. So no, like the first like 3 weeks, he was averaging like 160 against.
Yeah.
And as it's shucking out, I think it's gotten a lot better.
It's come back to earth a little
So
bit, but still, he
it's
set the
usually-
record.
It's usually me and him, but I think I'm pretty sure like in 12 of 13 weeks I played against 100 points or more, and like no one else had more than like, I think Jason was like second on that with like 9.
Wow.
Or 10.
Wow.
Like it's just like I just consistently never get a week where someone puts up 84.
Well, this has got to be...
It does not happen to me.
This has got to be McMillan's floor, because Mahomes obviously was the one saving grace. Aside from that, he really did. His defense and kicker combined for 18, and he still didn't break 90. Like, he didn't get double digits with the exception of Mahomes and Terry McLaurin.
So he has had some injury stuff. Like he started Damian Harris.
Sure, this week was
no Julio Jones.
no Julio, no James Conner, no DeAndre Swift.
But you know who he doesn't have this week? No Julio Jones.
You're right.
DeAndre Swift
And
is still
DeAndre
a
Swift's
big
questionable.
maybe. He's a big maybe.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in 3
Connor-
weeks. He's been sick. And you know
Oh,
what?
also-
you know what happened with CEH?
You know who else? By the way, you know who else is missing from his lineup? Myles Gaskin, who came back,
He's out.
but he's out due to COVID. So we'll talk about this later on.
I don't think he was going to start him.
I
don't think so.
With
Based on who he
people
has in the lineups now.
out,
But he has Connor. He has
if DeAndre Swift
DeAndre
DeAndre Swift misses time, because
he might have started Myles Gaskin if
yeah,
but again
he has to, because it's Alvin Kamara and James Conner.
He has another wide receiver. I think he has Tyler Boyd still on his bench right now. I mean, obviously we're not looking at this week's matchup yet. We're looking at this. I mean, obviously he's had some injury issues with this week.
But
I'm just saying, like, but it's not even about his week. It's the fact that, like, why don't I ever get to fucking play against 84 points? I think my worst one has been, like, Jason each time, like, both times, and it was, like, he still put up, like, 100 points each time I played him.
Yeah. And, I mean, not much to say about Alex's team. We'll get more into him, I think, as we move on closer to... I'm excited to predict our Sacco playoffs, because it's going to be... The beautiful part about the Sacco Bowl is if you lose... Like, if we win in week 1 of the playoffs, we still got 2 more games coming before we win it all. If you lose week 1 of the Sacco Bowl, you're in the Sacco Bowl.
Yeah.
There's not room for error there.
So this is something I'm going to suggest in the future, because obviously we can't do it now. But what do you think about you lose week 1 of the playoffs, you're in the Sacco, but the Sacco is a double week setup. Like, you remember that year where we did a 2-week championship?
Yeah.
Doing a 2-week Sacco. That way, Because again, like
Yeah, I'd be
obviously-
fine with that.
Obviously, there's some luck in fantasy football. There's some variance. You can lose 1 week.
Make sure that the shittiest
no,
person.
the shittiest team actually loses.
I'm all for that. That way, week 16 really matters
Matters
for
for
everybody.
yeah.
I'm all for that. I love that idea. That's a great idea. And also, by the way, Alex was we had band practice yesterday, and Alex was once again ranting about how we should get rid of kickers.
If there's anyone that should make an argument against kickers this season, it is me.
Did you see his kicker and his defense in this game?
No, yeah, sure, in this game, but like, dude, I have the biggest swing of kicker than anybody. It's like if you go through and look at it, I want to say again, this was going into week 13, but me and Zach were talking about this. I think it was like through 12 weeks, I had 127 points put up against me at kicker.
Jeez.
Zach was second with like 126.
Yeah.
Third didn't even have 100.
Wow.
It's like I just consistently get 10 points per game put up against me with kickers.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have to get like I'm not saying I would make a vote to get rid of him but I understand it.
I don't think
because it's some bullshit.
I don't think there's a way to do this, but his idea was you tie kickers and defenses together. If you have like for example, if you have the Chiefs defense, you have Harrison Butker too. And like you do them as a package deal. So that way like, you know, you have to it makes it a little more complicated. I wasn't a big fan of that idea, but he also was talking about, you know, doing a double flex, like having 2 flex spots. And again, I'm a traditionalist.
So I would be more comfortable not doing a double flex. I would be much more comfortable doing double quarterback.
I hate 2 QB leagues. It makes QB value so much higher.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I get you would be against it because it just seems like you've been on this rotating thing of the waiver wire quarterbacks. But, dude, there's 20 serviceable starting quarterbacks. There's 20 serviceable fantasy quarterbacks. Easily. It just happens to be that like 4 people in the league have 4 quarterbacks on their team for some reason.
I'm in a 2 QB league in an 8 quarterback league, and it's already like super fucking hard to get anyone serviceable.
I don't know how that's possible.
I'm telling you, like
go to players.
My number 2 quarterback, I had Patrick Mahomes, my 1 quarterback. My other one was either Jared Goff or
fine.
Or Baker Mayfield. It was like I had no one this week. Like I don't think you realize how hard it is to find a competent quarterback. This is who's on. And by the way, Teddy Bridgewater was on my team until this past week when I dropped him.
Phillip Rivers averaging, 15 points per game. You're getting 15 points per game out of the 20th ranked quarterback. No, obviously up here at the top, though, you're ranking between 26 and 15 points per game. Between the top 20. There's so much. And is there anyone in the top 20 who's not available right now?
But remember,
Bridgewater and Carson Wentz.
It's not like you're just going to get someone in the top. Like okay, so...
But it changes how you draft.
It does.
You draft quarterbacks in the 3rd round. Like, when Jason drafted Lamar Jackson in the 2nd round, it wouldn't be as terrible.
Okay.
It still would be bad. It wouldn't be as terrible as it was.
All right. Look, we're bantering this right now, so the people who aren't watching, because no one's watching right now, obviously, because no one's commenting in the chat, can think about these things. Jason's nightmare of a season continues in week 12 with a loss to window.
It didn't matter.
No.
It was irrelevant.
No. It's just like at this point you're playing to make like for pride, right? I mean, like win some games. Damn.
Was this his? Oh, this was week 12. Okay,
right.
Week 12. Got it.
Right.
I was like, I thought this was week 13. I was like, this is not who he started in week 13.
You're playing for pride.
Yeah, week 12 was week 12 he was not playing for pride. He was still playing to be in it because in week 11 he made up like 50 points on you and Daryl.
Yeah.
And like this was the week where like the trade that me and him did
right
gave him that big boost in week 11, but it fucked him this week. I mean, Russell Wilson 14, Zeke 2.5.
Zeke at 2.4 is the game breaker.
And
he left Amari on his bench.
Well, it's not that he just left Amari on his bench, but Adam Thielen was out with COVID.
Oh.
Like, it just, like, the trade we made, like I said, won him his matchup in week 11.
And lost
made
him.
up 50 points. Lost it for him.
But, once again, taking my advice, starting the Dolphins defense, and Jason Sanders put a game in 26. So, take the good with the bad, right? That's a quarter of his scoring right there. Yeah. I actually would love to see at the end of the year, like, how much the Dolphins defense and Jason Sanders contributed to his total points scored. I would love to see that. I'm sure it's some astronomical number.
Yeah, that win also locked up window into a...
Yeah, he was getting into the bye at that point. And then,
I mean, I know Zach posted a thing about it, but it was like, window, 3 quarterbacks, 3 defenses, 3 tight ends on your team. You have the 91st wide receiver, but you didn't want to pick up a different kicker for this week? When you could have still
lost, and then you might not get the bye.
No, he would have gotten it because he was 2 games ahead of McMillan. But if he wins and Zach loses, he moves ahead and gets the first place spot.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know about you. I feel like I would much rather. No offense to your team.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I would much rather be playing against like
Zach has. Well, here's the thing. There's actually, I think
I'd rather play against the winner of you and James than me and McMillan.
I disagree. I would like McMillan scares me, but James is the hottest team in the league right now. I'm terrified. I am terrified to go up against James because he keeps dropping like 140s, 150s like it's no big deal. He's leading the league in scoring every week, and of course it's happening now. And I am just.
I think Chris Carson might be out this week though.
I hope. But this was actually a huge win for Daryl because this win really kept him in the playoff conversation.
Thing just frustrated me so much. Like that, the last heave that Carson Wentz threw.
Yep.
Richard Rodgers catches it. Dallas got it right fucking next to him. That 6 points would have. That have like ended it. Daryl would have been out of the playoffs then. Like I think we all agree Daryl didn't deserve to be in the playoffs.
I mean, based on total points scored, but he also
I mean, he's like 8th in points scored.
Yeah, I mean, he dealt with a lot of. I mean, we've all been dealing with injuries.
Everyone,
like that.
I don't want to hear an injury excuse from anybody this year. Everybody had injuries. Everybody had injuries.
But it also hurts that he left a couple players on his bench who like Cooper Kupp obviously and CEH. CEH really. I feel bad because CEH was like I said, if I hadn't drafted Derrick Henry, and I thank my lucky stars I didn't get bold on the pick at pick 1, I was smart and stayed safe with Derrick Henry because I was thinking CEH was my other pick at 7, and the last 2 weeks in weeks 12 and week 13, CEH got 4.4 and then did not play. He was all like a healthy bench player.
It was one of those things where he was sick. I'm pretty sure he had an illness.
He had an illness.
He lost some weight, and it was kind of like, well, we have 3 running backs. We're playing against a shitty team. We'll be fine.
He didn't practice all week, so it was like they just kept him on the bench in case something. He was the emergency running back, basically.
And I feel like that's something that you should be looking into when you decide to start somebody.
Man, Ruby's hanging out with Jerry. And then on to Zach and Windows. Zach kind of like not strong to finish the year.
Josh Jacobs got hurt. Kareem Hunt obviously losing touches to Nick Chubb. Zach's team is vulnerable.
Yeah.
You don't love his bench.
Yeah.
Like, he has his starters. DK Metcalf can drop 30 points. Robert Woods is still, like, he has a pretty high floor. But, like, Josh Allen is up and down.
I also don't, Josh Allen, I don't think the end of his season is that good, if I remember correctly. Pittsburgh, Denver, New England, like...
New England, so Pittsburgh, obviously, his defense is good. Denver,
Denver's vulnerable.
But he also, for week 14, he doesn't have to play.
Right, it's true. So it's really just Denver and New England.
Denver's not terrible, but they're not great.
New England's solid.
But New England is really good against young quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know we play them in week 15.
Young quarterbacks is where they do well.
Yeah.
So, no, like, Zach's team is definitely vulnerable.
Fucking James. And again, and I harp on this a lot, but inflated because 36 points out of the defense and kicker. But
Adam Thielen was out.
Again, I get it. But A.J. Brown has had some monster games lately. Deshaun Watson obviously having over 30 helps. He had David Montgomery on his bench who had 20. Like, he has a scary fucking team.
But again,
it's not deep.
So here's the thing: when you look at 150, though, 36 points from his defense and kicker.
Yeah, I agree.
You're not getting 21 out of your kicker every week.
I agree. And so that brings us to week 13, and this is where
into the playoffs.
I will say this was a fun. I feel like most years we have it kind of like, oh man, it's loading. Hold on, I'll close it out. I feel like most years we have it pretty competitive towards the end of the season. I think there have been some years where we have like 5 or 6 teams all vying for it. This year it was really you, me, James, Daryl, and McMillan vying for like 4 spots, it felt like. So there was always going to be some odd man out, and unfortunately for Daryl, it happened to be him. Actually, tell you what, this is taking me forever. Sorry. What are you doing, Ruby? Ruby, come! Come! Ruby, come! Come on! You are terrible at listening.
I think she's ready for bed.
Yeah.
Come on! Come on!
All right,
Come on. All right, I can't get her. Okay, sorry. No one's watching anyway. Who gives a shit, right? So week 13, I played Jason Smith.
Squeaked out a win.
Barely, man. I was fucking sweating.
So literally, I saw Jason's team and I was like, I like Jason's chances right now.
Yeah.
And then I went back and looked at it again, and he started James White over Melvin Gordon, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Wow.
I sent him a text message. I'm like, why did you start James White? He's like, well, Melvin Gordon hasn't been doing well. I'm like, he had a bad week last week when they didn't have a quarterback. They were starting a wide receiver quarterback. You don't bench Melvin Gordon.
To his credit, we both made bad moves here. We both left a lot of points on our bench. Myself more so because I left Cole Beasley, who had a 23-point day, Marvin Jones, who had a 21-point day.
I mean, you're saying like leave him as if that's somebody you would have started.
I would. I was thinking about it. All week I struggled at the flex spot with Nyheim Hines because I've been doing the last week I did the Nyheim Hines, Jonathan. Or no, I'm sorry. This week I did the Nyheim Hines Jonathan Taylor combo because it was against Houston's run D, which was suspect. And I figured, look, if Jonathan Taylor for some reason gets 10, Nyheim Hines will get 26. If Jonathan Taylor gets like 25, Nyheim Hines might get 10.
Don't get me wrong.
still.
I think it's a weird thing that you decided to start both
It was
Indianapolis running backs.
Houston's run defense is that bad, but like I was debating even up till kickoff, Cole Beasley, Marvin Jones at the flex. I was thinking about, and also the other decision I'm struggling with was Mike Gesicki versus Hayden Hurst. Made the absolutely wrong play apparently on that one, and I'm gonna be starting Mike Gesicki this week. So I'm sure Hayden Hurst will go off. But this is why I said this like a couple weeks ago, maybe like
drop one of the tight ends. You won't have a decision anymore.
Midway through our podcast this year, I said this, and I stand by my statement. I fucking hate my team this year because it's so many borderline fucking decisions that I hate making.
Drop one of your two tight ends that you don't need.
No, I need them.
Do you? Because you're getting mad every time you start the wrong one.
Well, I know, but who else am I going to pick up at this point? I was also pissed off that James picked up Cam Akers on the waiver wire. He sniped him over like several of us.
Yeah,
although
and then he never was gonna play him.
Didn't play him.
He's never going to play him.
He put up 20.
I know he did, but he's never going to play him.
Idiot. But it's also, I guess, a good move. It's taken out of our hands. Anyway, so I'm just happy that once again my team name lived up to its name. Either Derrick Henry or Devontae Adams just has a monster fucking day. This time it was Devontae. Man, it's wonderful watching them play football and just sitting back and saying, "Oh yeah, he's getting 3 touchdowns today. Great, awesome." But
You just better hope you don't hit a week where they both.
If they both suck,
because
I'm done.
Your team's not doing anything if one of them doesn't get you 30 points.
If one of them doesn't drop 30, my team's out. But imagine if they both get hot for 3 weeks, it's game over. No one's beating me if they put up 60 together.
I don't know. They both put up 60. You put up 120. People put up more than 120 all the time.
I don't think I'm going to put 60 points together with the rest of my lineup.
How many did you put with the rest of your lineup?
In this week? It's 24.
70 points.
Hold on, 24.
You literally just take your total score minus Devontae Adams.
Oh, yeah.
You put up 70 points.
No, 80 points. It's really 75 if you take out both of them.
Yeah. Okay, 75 points.
75 plus, 60 is what, 135? If they both put up 30?
Yeah. Like I said, people put up more than 130 all the time.
Not all the time. It happens. It happens once or twice a week.
How many times did it happen this week? 130. I'm actually curious.
Once.
This was a low week. This week it was only one.
No, but it also
overall it was a low week. Twice.
Yeah.
Twice, by the way. 132.
Oh, I didn't see.
This was a pretty low week though. You had 1, 2, 3,
hey, man.
300. Yeah.
I'm just saying I had a lot of points on my bench. So did Jason. It could have gone either way. I'm happy to come out with the win because even though I would have made the playoffs anyway.
This is one of the spots where you could have started Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
You could have started Mike Gesicki.
Oh sure.
He should have started Melvin Gordon.
Yes. I agree.
And that would have made the
Yep.
Again, you can get into which one should I start? It's no, this is a what the fuck were you doing moment.
Yeah. It's like calling cover 0 with 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
This was a surprising result at the end of the year.
I mean, it's not that surprising.
No, not McMillan's score. McMillan has been dropping big games because he has big game players. But Window putting up 80 the week before the playoffs.
I mean,
now granted, he didn't start a kicker.
He didn't start a kicker. Carolina's on a bye, so no Mike Davis or Christian McCaffrey. I mean, Justin Herbert also had the worst game of his career. Again, it's one of those spots where you have Taysom Hill. You can start him. You started him 2 weeks ago when it was in a tight end spot.
That's a
you had no problem starting
him
him in a tight end spot. But no, now is the time when you probably actually should start him at quarterback because he still has that great matchup, and Justin Herbert has to play against Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it cost him 20 points. overall, it's like one of those things where
45 to nothing.
he still is in one of those spots where like Tyreek Hill might just drop 50 for him. And if he does, okay, everyone loses, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Christian McCaffrey's good. I don't know if they're gonna rush Christian McCaffrey back. Like what are they like? I think they're like 5-8 and like
doubtful for Sunday's game against Denver, but he also is
doubtful.
the week the window has a bye.
He does, but I'm just saying though, like, but if they're 5-9 going into next week,
but
are they gonna rush him back?
And here's the other thing too that it just says on there that I didn't even realize until now. If he doesn't come back, or I'm sorry, if they're trying to get him back, they're gonna have a shortened week because they play on a Saturday game against the Packers the week after in Week 15.
That's my big thing. Like, I don't know exactly what the Panthers' schedule or record is right now. I want to say there's something like 5-8, something like that, right? Can you actually look at that really quick?
What, their record?
Yeah, just the Panthers' record.
Sure.
And I might be able to pull it up on my phone really quick.
You might be able to find it more than I can. Here we go. Their record is 4-8.
4-8.
Why rush him back?
So if they lose this, whether they win or lose this week, let's say they lose, they're 4-9.
Yeah.
Are they going to rush him back on a short week?
They're not making the playoffs.
In a normal season, I would say, like, no, you want your stars to come back when they're able to play because that's the reason people come to the fucking games. They want to see the stars play.
No one's coming to the games.
There's no stars.
Yeah.
There's no one in the stands.
Right.
Why rush Christian McCaffrey? Like, he's the fucking franchise.
Yep.
It ain't Teddy Bridgewater.
Not Mike Davis, although he's put up numbers.
Like, no, Mike Davis has played okay. Christian McCaffrey's the fucking franchise.
Yep.
I don't see them rushing him back on a short week.
I'm with you.
Like, he might run into that problem where he doesn't have his number one guy. And I don't know what does Christian McCaffrey's schedule even look like? Like, who do the Panthers play in Week 15? I know you said it's a short week.
I thought they played the Packers. Let me say NFL scoreboard.
I mean, you just click on Christian McCaffrey. Broncos Week 14. So next week 15 is the Packers.
Ruby,
What's she doing?
eating the presents.
Don't eat the presents. Why are you eating the presents?
So you said Packers in Week 15?
Yes, Packers Week 15.
Okay.
Let me make sure about that, but I'm almost positive. And it's a Saturday game. Right there. On
Okay.
prime
And
time.
who is it in championship week? I'm actually curious. Who do the Panthers play? Say window gets there. Who do the Panthers play?
The Washington's
Washington's
football team.
defense has actually been pretty solid.
Yeah, they have.
Like, so it's not an amazing. Although Christian McCaffrey's when healthy is pretty matchup proof.
Yeah, I would agree. Very safe floor. So yeah, I mean, so
Alex goes out there and gets a fucking win with 90 points.
well, and so really quick, I was just say the teams I'm most scared to play right now are the two teams who put up the highest number of points in Week 13, and it's not just because of that, but because they've been the hottest teams, I think. Like
McMillan's team has been good, but again,
when they're
his team on this is so inflated. 17 out of his kicker. He's not getting 40 out of his tight end again.
I get it. I get it, but Darren Waller can put up. He's put up big games this season.
Darren Waller is a good tight end.
Great tight end. He has been the number 2 tight end in fantasy.
Yeah. But again, a 38-point day puts you in the top 10, like no matter what.
Well, no.
He could have not played the whole year, put up 38 in a game, and be in the top 10.
Fair, but I'm just saying, like this year he's had what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different seven out of really 12 weeks that he was playing. He put up double digits at the tight end spot, which is almost impossible.
Do I expect him to get 15 points when I'm playing him this week? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I expect him to get 20 points?
Probably not.
Probably not. Do I expect him to get 38.5?
No way.
No fucking way. And again, you also remember they were playing the Jets when he puts up 38.5.
Right.
Like it's so inflated when you're getting from your tight end, defense, and kicker some of the most volatile positions when it comes to points. You could end up with 5 points between those 3 positions. No, what did he end up with?
But this isn't necessarily his ceiling, is what I'm saying. Because look, Patrick Mahomes didn't put up 20. He got close, didn't put up 20. Terry McLaurin put up 2.4. Terry McLaurin's like top 15 wide receiver this year, only put up 2.4. This could have been higher. This is like close to McMillan's ceiling, but McMillan has had some major weeks this season.
I think getting 65 out of those 3 positions outweighs the Terry McLaurin had 2.5. Okay, no, he could be like 12. Maybe add another 10 points.
Yeah.
Maybe add another 6 points for Patrick Mahomes.
What's his McLaurin? I mean, his average is 12.7.
So yeah, give Patrick Mahomes the extra 6 that he averages. Give Terry McLaurin the extra 10. Add 15. Now you got 65 out of those 3 positions. If you cut that in half, you're happy from those 3 positions.
Yeah.
Like, he only gets 30. Like, no, like, can at any point his team put up 125? Yes.
I'm saying his
I think if you're going into this week expecting to get a win with less than 115 points, you're not thinking high enough.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, I feel like the ceilings of both McMillan's team and James' team. Oh, well, actually, I feel like McMillan has probably the highest ceiling in the league. I think Windows is close. I think that James has had the highest run of really good overall performances the last couple weeks. And so that's why they scare me the most out of any teams in the playoffs.
So one thing that I will say is my team is designed for the playoffs. I traded for Aaron Jones because of his amazing playoff schedule.
I've made a couple moves that I made sure I had players ready to go for the postseason. I've got some good matchups this week. I also know, I don't know how many people saw it, and I don't know if it's a good move or not, but if I do get to the championship, I'm going to be starting Baker Mayfield at quarterback because Baker Mayfield, who was on the waiver wire this week, plays the Jets in Week 16 and just came off, obviously, his best performance of the season this past week. So, not dropping him, but anyway.
I don't know. I look at some of the teams, the way it's all like everyone wanted Russell Wilson over Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
At about week 9, I was like, whoa, Aaron Rodgers' playoff schedule is so much better. Yeah, everyone, you still want Russell Wilson? Cool, let's work out a deal here. Like, there's a reason that I was floating Russell Wilson everywhere. It's not because I had so much more. It's like I don't know. Yes, I think everybody else viewed him as much more valuable, but he's also kind of been.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's kind of taking a little bit of a
slight
dip,
downward.
A little bit no, he's not getting you 30 a game like he was for the first 4 weeks.
Right. Alex obviously embracing his role as spoiler and playing a huge, spoiler to Daryl, who
no CEH
knocks Daryl out of the playoffs with this loss. A win, I think, still would have had Daryl miss the playoffs.
Yes,
depending on the points scored.
In retrospect, no.
Even if Daryl
wins, I don't get in because I'm playing against. Because he's a game ahead.
Oh,
of
you're
James.
right. You're right.
He's a game ahead of James,
right.
and I'm competing with James.
So if Daryl won, he's in.
Yeah. And here's the thing: you look at his team. Look at his team right now. Does that look like a playoff team? Deebo Samuel.
I mean, again, we talked about kickers and defenses. His defense didn't do anything for him, and he was playing without his RB1. Does it look like a team that's going to win a championship? No, but does it look like a team that could make the play? That could be like a 5 or 6 seed? Yeah.
I mean, obviously not.
I mean, he didn't.
I mean, he finished in 6th despite having an amazing schedule.
I see your point there. I do see your point there. And what is fitting about this is in total points scored, I think the top 6 teams in total points scored all made the playoffs, which is some sort of poetic justice, I would say. James, once again, keeping his... How many games has he won? I gotta look it up now. How many games he's won in a row? But it's the way he's winning them for me that's scary. It's only 3 in a row, but it's just I gotta pull it up just for a second.
I don't know. I think he's kind of due for a down week.
So I'm just gonna look at his last 3 weeks. 151, 150.
Yeah, we know he's had a good 3-week stretch.
And it's right before the playoffs, and I gotta play this motherfucker.
All right, what did he do in week 10?
64.
Okay.
Can we have another week like that? That would be great.
I'm just saying he might be due for a down week.
I hope so.
So there's no arguing this. His team has overperformed for 3 consecutive weeks.
Yes.
Because there is not a single team in this league that when the week starts and you're looking at the projections, is anyone projected more than 130? No. I guarantee you that he's outscored his projection by 20 points at least in every single week.
This is where I hope that this is like in blackjack when you you lose $25 on a hand, and then you're like, all right, I'm due 50. I'm putting $50. I gotta get the 25 back. Here's $50. Then you lose that hand. All right, I'm putting $100. I gotta get my money back.
It's called martingale.
Right, and then you at this point you're just saying you're pulling more money out of your wallet. Bet it all. I need this money back. Throwing more bad money after good money. I'm hoping that's what's happening here, and that I'm due.
I'm just saying, I don't think James is gonna have another 130 plus point day. He's beaten the odds on that for 3 consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
I think it's much more likely he ends up right kind of what I was saying in that 115 to 120 range. And the bigger question is whether or not you can keep up with that.
Right. I just blocked the camera. I'm sorry. What? What?
Enough.
Ruby.
Enough.
So, last matchup, Zach and Mr. LeBlanc. I mean, at this point, wins didn't matter. It was just points scored.
This was just
you.
points scored. Enough. I'm about to smack your dog, bro.
Hey, sit.
Ruby.
Sit.
The
Sit.
entire
Yes. Good girl.
the entire Chargers team just
Stay.
shot the bed, 45-0. That was embarrassing. Again, I have a.
Can you get her?
Ruby, come.
Go get mama.
Again, my team is definitely much more set up for a playoff run than it was at the end of the regular season. And it was one of the things I talked about. I know I talked about it with Zach. Was like, I made that trade with Jason. I was like, I hope I get in.
Yeah.
Because like my team gets worse for the first like 2 weeks after this trade.
But then
my
after
team
you
gets
get in,
way better.
Right.
Like
It's all about matchups
like
at that point.
I'm really liking my lineup for the play. We'll get into the
Let's
lineups
talk
and
about it.
We're gonna get
really,
into it
really
here.
quick. Actually, before we do, let's just go over one more time the standings and the teams that made the playoffs. So, in terms of total points scored, McMillan leading the league in scoring. He's got to be sad that we didn't actually end up having a canceled season.
I don't think he would have wanted that anyways.
I know, I'm just kidding. But top in total points scored by a decent margin too.
Yeah.
Finishes third in the standings because he lost a couple games and was had a. I mean, he didn't have that many more points against. He just lost a lot of games for how many points he put up. Obviously, then Window, James, Zach, yourself, and myself, and all 6 of us in the playoffs.
But I'm just saying, sometimes this variance just pisses me. First in points scored finishes third. Second in points scored finishes second. Makes sense. Third in points scored,
Fifth.
Okay, fourth in points scored gets first. That's pretty high.
Fifth in points scored gets eighth.
And you're sixth, and you get fourth. It's just like
There's some
I
variance
hate the fact that like I was 30 points back on Zach. I finished 7 games back on him.
Yeah.
Like it's just insane.
Yeah. She went all the way up.
So those fucking points against, man. I had more than 200 points against more than Zach did.
Here she comes.
I'm just saying, look at that really quick, though. Just look at that really quick on the points against. Of the playoff teams, I'm the only one that went above 1,400 in points against. And I was at 1,560.
Yeah.
Of all the playoff teams, no one else had more than 1,400 points against for the season. I had over 1,550.
That is true. I didn't look at that. That's a pretty. That's amazing that you made the playoffs. That's why we have a wild card.
That is why we have a wild card.
You know?
I'm still. I don't know if I quite want to do like a double
wild card. I've thought about it.
I still think I like the idea more of you get 2 weeks, you get your individual matchup, and you get your game against the average.
Yeah, but that's so complicated.
It's not complicated.
It is complicated.
It's basic math.
I'm just saying in terms of like tracking. It's gonna require work.
I'll do it.
I will also say this.
It's no work at all. It's
how
many did everybody score? Who's above that
If
score?
we did the double wild card this year, then the top 4 teams in the standings would have been Zach, Window, McMillan, myself, and then the next 2 teams in total points scored would be James at 5 seed and you at 6 seed. So it would have worked out.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, I think it is interesting that, like, this year was so just. Like, we only needed 1 wild card to make it just. All 6 teams, top in total points scored, made the playoffs. That's so fair.
I'm just saying. I just remember the year where I went 2-11 with second in points scored.
Do we have a wild card then?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that was the year that I was actually first the entire year, and James passed me at the very end. And James passed me at the very last week of the season. He passed me by like 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
He finished 12-1, and I'm pretty sure. Wait, I think he finished 12-1, and I think I finished 2-10. It's just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like that shit can happen though.
But that's why we have a wild card. So moving on to the playoffs, obviously we won't talk about Zach and Window because they're on bye.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the 4 matchups there are.
Let's start with the Sacco Bowl.
Oh, you want to start?
I'm
Okay.
gonna start at the bottom here.
Okay. I also needed at some point tonight. I need to do my history, like my looking at the history of the matchups because I don't know if you saw on Facebook. I did I dug into the vault a little bit and looked at the history of me versus James and you versus McMillan. And I didn't realize, like I said, that Jason Smith and Matt Zebak played in back-to-back finals.
Yeah, I knew that.
I'd say it's funny the things you forget. You know what I mean?
Because when Zebak, it was just Jason lost that year. Jason's team was so good. I'm pretty sure that was the year that Zebak had Todd Gurley, who just dropped back like 40-point games for 3 straight weeks into the playoffs. But it was the next year. It was just like it's like Jason's team was so fucking good, and he loses in the championship. And the next year, his team was not good. His team was just fucking destined. I'm pretty sure he put up. I think he put up like 80 points in the championship to win. Mm-hmm. It was like something crazy small like that.
Yeah. So we already have some scoring here in the first game.
We do, and it puts Jason out to a
decent-
commanding lead.
No, commanding.
For
Calm
the
down.
projection.
That's not command. It's a solid start. It's a good head start. Jason Smith has gained himself a head start with a great performance from the Rams defense against New England, and a big win, by the way, in terms of like.
I'm pretty sure when that started, Daryl was projected to win by 10.
Yeah,
it's a pretty big fucking.
It's a big swing. There's still a lot left to be decided. Obviously, Jason, to his credit, is starting Melvin Gordon, or at least trying to.
He should.
He also the thing.
Which also, speaking of that, it was the Patriots. He would have, in theory, started James White, right? 2.3 points. So probably a good decision. They pulled James White out of his lineup and stuck Melvin Gordon back in.
Meanwhile, Daryl taking Deebo Samuel out after disappointing, obviously, last week. I mean,
he did okay. He had like 10 points, right?
But the thing is, it hurts when you're watching that game because Deebo was the last guy left. Deebo was his only saving grace, and it was down to the wire. One touchdown would have saved Daryl and gotten. I'm
a little surprised that he's leaving CEH in there against Miami.
Bold decision, bold strategy, Cotton.
I mean, but again, like here's the thing. This is also what I'm talking about. You look at his lineup right now, right? Do you think this is beating any of the playoff teams this week?
Probably
Wayne Gallman.
Probably not, but you never know. That's why you play the game, right? Allen Robinson can have a big day. Kyler Murray can have a big day. Nick Chubb can have a big day. They're all capable of
I don't know how big of a day Nick Chubb's going to have. He does have Baltimore.
Robert Tonyan. Like the thing is, these projections.
Robert Tonyan's a good example. Can you click Robert Tonyan really quick?
Sure.
Let's see. How many times? Okay, so actually you guys done pretty well these last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
12, 15. But again, like, he had that 30-point day, and he was like the number one. After 4 weeks, he was the number one fantasy tight end.
Right, and obviously he came back to earth, and then in
4
of his next 5, he put up less than 5. But like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like after 4 weeks, because he had a 30-point day, he was the number one guy.
Look, he's
4, 10, 1, 5. No, he's actually 3 straight. He's so touchdown dependent.
Like every tight end is
with
touchdown
the exception
dependent.
of Travis Kelce, every tight end is touchdown dependent.
Right.
So. That goes back.
And also, who's the one? Darren Waller is also not touchdown dependent at this point. He's had at this point.
I don't know if he's had monster games without a tight end. Actually, I would like to go back and look at his. I'd like to see it really quick.
Well, I'm gonna
because one of the big things is that 40-point day he just had. He had what, 2 or 3 touchdowns?
He had 2 touchdowns. He had 13 catches for 200 yards.
Yeah, no, he had a fucking ridiculous week.
2 weeks ago against Kansas City, he had 7 catches for 88 yards.
No touchdowns?
He had 1 touchdown, but he had 18 points. So even without the touchdown, he puts up 12.
Sure.
Open it and close it at the top.
Like, I will say that, like, most of the time, tight ends are touchdown dependent, but, like, there have been...
It's not blue. Then turn on the back. Right here. There's like a little click on the bottom. There you go. Now good.
Like, there have been at least, 3 or 4 times this season where even without the touchdowns he got, he would have been in double digits. He gets volume, this dude does. 12 catches, 9 catches, 6, 5, 5 here, 7, 13. He gets volume.
Okay, so if you don't count the huge 38-point day, because that's an anomaly day.
Fair.
On 2 occasions, he's gotten you double digits without a touchdown.
No, 3. He would have gotten, without this 1 touchdown, yes. He would have had it. This one he did do it without a touchdown. That's 2.
Okay, I thought he scored a touchdown. So, so 3 times then.
And then right here, this one.
I said 3 times then. I missed this one where he didn't score a touchdown and got 11 points.
Yeah. So, like, I'm just saying, like, he gets volume. He can do it. He's demonstrated it on 3 of 12 weeks.
I agree.
He's done it without
I think he's a consensus, like, top 5 tight end.
So he's number 2.
Yes, results-wise, he is number 2 right now. Like, but going into the year, you could still have made the argument that he was a top 5 tight end.
Right.
Like, it was kind of like, it was Kelce, it was Kittle. It kind of dropped off a bit from there, but now you're talking about
Zach Ertz was in the conversation.
Zach Ertz was right there. It's like Zach Ertz, Darren Waller. Like, that's kind of the whole conversation.
What a disappointment he was for an early round pick.
Not the worst pick from early rounds. So
I mean, yeah.
From a results standpoint.
I didn't draft Lamar Jackson in the second.
I mean, that's still not even the worst one from a results standpoint from the early rounds.
Who would be the worst one, you think?
Probably
Zeke.
No, I feel like Saquon has to go down as the
actually, yeah, and it was
week 1 or 2. Again, we're talking about a result. We're talking about a results thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's go back to really quick. Just finish out the Daryl and the Sacco Daryl and Jason matchup. This honestly could still go either way. Obviously, Jason's right now projected
Russell
to be the
Wilson
favorite.
gets the Jets.
Yeah,
That's huge.
That's big.
Chubb has Baltimore.
Yeah, it's
Zeke actually gets Cincinnati.
Matchups definitely favor Jason.
I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see how much workload CEH actually gets. Like, it's one of those things too. Like, Kansas City has not been overly running the ball. They're letting Patrick Mahomes work.
This is gonna be interesting. So I will actually give the nod to, and I hate to do it, but I don't hate to do it, but like, I feel bad for Daryl that he was on the verge of playoffs, and now he might be in
He did
Sacco.
deserve to be where he is.
But I'm not saying
that's the result.
But he also doesn't necessarily deserve to be in the Sacco. To be honest, if I had to pick two teams to be in the Sacco Bowl, it would probably be based on performance, Brad and Alex.
Yeah.
Right. So it sucks that these two teams, based on record, are meeting here because I don't know that one of them deserves to be in the Sacco, even despite Jason's terrible record. But if I'm going to pick a
how close are Daryl and Jason in points scored? I'm actually curious on that.
Let's find out.
Like, how did the bottom four actually shake out?
It was Daryl, then Brad actually, and Jason was like literally less than a tenth of a point below him. And then Alex is really far behind.
So obviously Alex deserves to be there. But again, I mean, those three, they're all pretty close.
I apologize to Brad. I didn't mean
Brad deserves a little bit more respect.
Brad deserves more respect, and I apologize. I didn't realize how close he was. I underestimated how he had done. I would say Alex deserves to be in there.
No matter what Alex deserves to be in there, somebody has to be there to play against him.
And we're both picking Jason to win this match.
I think
right?
I'm picking Jason to win it.
Just matchup based. Like, I get it.
So I know you can say you feel bad about how it is, but Jason's entire season got fucked because he got put up people were putting up 170 for the first.
It was so beautiful. We will always have that ad forever.
Like just think about the concept. Like in his first 4 weeks, he had more losses than Window and Zach had all season.
Yeah.
Because people just kept dropping.
You know what?
Season highs on him.
Really quick. No one's watching the stream anyway.
Your coffee's ready, Garson.
I'm gonna play the ad one more time.
Jesus.
Let me see. Hold on.
What are you doing, Moose?
Are you watching 27 Dresses?
Yes, I love this movie. I'm actually very impressed that you know. It's the very end.
Damn it.
I can get y'all to watch it.
What movie is it?
27 Dresses.
Here we go.
I saw this movie when I was 12 years old.
Yeah. I was. Actually, I don't know. It's actually just quite.
Where did I save it to?
It's on the Facebook group. I don't think that's.
Oh no, we're gonna find it. We're gonna find it.
Jesus.
I want to watch it. I want to relive it one more time.
I mean,
this
you
might
can
be the
literally
last
watch it
time.
anytime we're not doing
Nope.
the podcast.
No, oh yeah, because people are totally watching the podcast right now. What else are people doing on a Saturday night during COVID?
We're getting lit, bro.
Yeah. That was a while ago, wasn't it? Here it is.
Jesus.
Oh, it's beautiful. Isn't it pretty? Wait, where's the sound? Oh, there we go.
both McMillan and whoever wins it this year needs to go to Waffle House together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That still needs to be a thing. So moving on to our second playoff match. Oh, really quick, just to prove my point. Mike Evans.
Oh, he does have Mike Evans.
Told you.
I was hoping he wasn't going to play this week.
Might
Might have started AB if he did.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Brad, Alex. No one has played yet. Fresh matchups.
Tight.
Don't know that has Brad actually set his lineup before a Sunday for once?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Maybe he starts CD. Probably not.
I mean, I feel like Matt Ryan being projected for 18 is a bit of a stretch, given that he has averaged like 17 this season.
I mean, it's a pretty good matchup with the Chargers, though.
I get it, but 5, 13, 12, he's not playing well as of late. Those are Carson Wentz numbers.
If I had to pick someone right now, obviously looking at this, I think like Tyler Lockett gets the Jets. I think Alex is going to end up where he belongs.
You think Brad's going to win?
Brad's going to win. I'm calling it here. Brad gets the dub. Brad has won when it matters.
I actually agree with you, and I hate I'm sorry, Alex. Like I know we hang out at least once a week. I know we got the band thing going, but I'm sorry if you end up in the Sacco.
Maybe you should try trading Le'Veon Bell again.
But I don't.
Do you just want to slap me now? Just do it on the podcast since Le'Veon Bell's not going to be a top 10.
I can't take the slap from him. He's got to have one good thing coming out of this shit season that he's had.
Me and you made the slap bet whether or not Le'Veon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You want to do that now on the podcast?
That's what I'm just saying. You want to just get it over with? Because I think it's some bullshit that he was hurt and then he gets cut and then he ends up on a team where he's never gonna play. Like, obviously doesn't help that, but I mean it is what it is. Where is he at? Number 60. It was close.
All right, you want to do it?
All right.
Ah man, I feel guilty. It's like Christmas.
Wait, what's going on?
He's gonna slap me in my face.
No, he's not.
Wait, he's not allowed to slap me ever?
No, you
Not
can't
ever,
decree that.
Not ever, but why are you doing it right now?
Because it's over. It doesn't matter. He's not coming back.
All right. Just,
Watch the coffees, please, in the tree.
Yeah, don't hit the
I'm not gonna hit the coffees or the tree. I'm gonna kind of go. I'm actually just gonna help you. The tree being here is your saving grace because I'm gonna try to go like away from the tree. I'm gonna like have to like hold my backswing a little bit.
Rude.
I don't want to do this, but we made the bet.
Just don't then.
No, I'm not gonna let you do it because I know if it was me, you would slap the shit out of me. I've already suffered one slap in this league so far.
I mean, you also slapped me last year, so
Did I really?
yeah.
Oh
at
yeah,
the movie theater.
You're right, man.
I don't remember what that.
But then
slap
you
was.
did slap James at the draft.
I did slap James at the draft.
So do I really want to do this because I like James had enough wins.
James has had enough wins.
All right. I'm sorry, buddy. I held back.
I don't know
held
why.
back. I felt bad.
I think you can put it in slow mo on the thing here, right?
Yeah. That was embarrassing. All right.
I didn't ask you this. I mean, you got a good. I mean, it was more like it was here. You got a good piece of it.
I got
Like,
good contact, but
So
it was like
last year when you did it, you just like barely got your fingers like this, so like it like didn't do anything.
Right.
This one, like you at least got a little bit of your palm onto the chin.
Right.
So
But
there's a little more contact, but
didn't-
obviously didn't get the.
I didn't
full
follow
swing.
through because I didn't want to hit the
Yeah.
tree, and I also, like I said, I felt kind of guilty. I'm not in a violent mood right now. I just hope that I win in the playoffs. That's all I want.
Although I still want to throw this offer out to Alex right now because there's no way Gardner Minshew beats Aaron Rodgers.
that was stupid.
I mean, obviously the Packers got more than 6.5 wins. They got that in Week 7.
Two
But
slaps.
it does look like so it's close. But this is kind of the sick thing. McCole Hardman is about 30 points ahead of Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins missed 8 weeks.
Wow.
McCole Hardman has not missed one. Like,
Wow.
Sammy Watkins could still come back.
That injury
But
is
right
tough.
now, I will still make the offer. Alex, I will let you buy out just one slap. Just one.
Alex, you should take this and run. If you're watching, you need to take or listening.
I mean, he's not listening right now, but when you see this, the offer is out there.
When does it expire? You need to have it be an exploding offer. That's a great thing I learned about the law is if you make an exploding offer, it makes it more likely to be accepted. So make it expire. When does it expire? I mean, fantasy season's wrapping up.
It is. I mean, we still got like 5 weeks for the other one. I don't know. But before the sack goes over, before championship week.
Okay. There you go. You have it. All right.
Although I might still let it extend past.
You can withdraw the offer at any time, by the way. So we both did that. Now we're on to our matchups. You want to do yours or mine first?
Yours is on the far left. We can do that one, I guess.
James and myself. The rematch of last year's championship. I've looked at that fucking trophy upstairs all the time that he won, that I should have won. And now I either get revenge or get fucked again.
Is this your starting lineup? Is this a definite? You are starting.
It is not definite. It is not definite. It is where I'm at right now because Marvin Jones is going to, again, have the benefit of Kenny Golladay once fucking again being out, as he's been seemingly all season. And his value has been, if you look at Marvin Jones in the last, ever since Kenny Golladay went out.
He's been pretty good. I was a little surprised when you benched him this week.
I struggle with it. But he also was coming off.
When there's no Kenny
He was
Golladay.
coming off 7.1 and 7.8 without Golladay. And, I was like, all right, maybe he's going through a cold spell. Maybe they're starting to spread the ball out a little more. Maybe I should hold off. And then, of course, he drops 21. Also, again, if I don't put Kenny Golladay in, the most likely candidate to replace him is going to be Cole Beasley. He has been, in the last,
He's also a little up and down. Kind
a
of
little up and down, but, he's, in 2 of his last 3 games, he's had 11 and 9 catches, over 100 yards, and, yes, a touchdown. But he
can come out of here out of nowhere and get you maybe 8, 9, 10 catches.
And I'm pretty sure
he's still he's still a little touchdown dependent.
I'm pretty sure John Brown is also out for Buffalo this week.
He also very much, the ups and downs for him completely coincide with the ups and downs of Josh Allen.
Yeah, I agree.
What kind of Josh Allen shows up is what matters.
Right, you're right. And so this is tough. But right now, this is my starting lineup. I am starting Gesicki against Kansas City. I think it's going to be a shootout. I am starting Phillip Rivers, probably. Maybe Matt Stafford sneaks in at game time decision kind of thing. Green Bay, I think Green Bay's pass defense is better than the Raiders right now. I think the Raiders have been on a rough stretch in terms of their pass D. I think 15 is a little bit of an underestimate there.
For who?
Phillip Rivers. I will say that I love, obviously, Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams against Jacksonville and Detroit, respectively. And I've said from the start, I think I'm going to go as far as they'll take me. Are you looking for their
I
ranking?
think I just have to click on your.
Yeah.
They are the 22nd. I think Phillip Rivers is also just one of those guys where it's 1 week he's good, the next week he's complete garbage because he's a billion years old.
But look at home really quick. Sorry, can you go back for it? Can you hit the back? The back button. That's the forward button. Mm-hmm. Sorry, you did hit back.
I did
okay.
hit back.
So really quick, omitting Brandon Ayuk and Marvin Jones for a second, which I might change those out. I don't know, but matchup wise, right? Phillip Rivers, good matchup against a suspect Raiders, somewhat suspect Raiders defense, bottom half.
Right in the bottom 10.
Derrick Henry against one of the worst rush defenses in the league in Jacksonville.
Yeah, he could have a good week.
Jonathan Taylor, who is finally starting to become the starting running back in Indianapolis as of late.
Hines still just gets so many touches.
No. Look at the last 2 weeks. 22 carries for 90 yards.
He didn't play in 12.
He didn't play in 12 because he was injured, I think.
Yeah.
He was injured in that game.
Yeah, but I'm saying
22 for 90.
It kind of looks like he becomes the guy, he gets hurt. He's out a week. He comes back, 13 touches.
And 3 catches.
Okay. Yeah, Naheem Hines had some touches too, and got a touchdown last week.
Right, but even without Taylor's touchdown, he still got 14, which is a reassuring sign. And he's going up against and then that was against a bad Houston defense. He's once again going against a bad rush defense. The Raiders again 29th. Yeah. Devontae Adams, a bottom tier defense in Detroit. Against wide receivers. The Saints getting the Eagles when they're starting Jalen Hurts.
I actually think they're going to be better, though, starting Jalen Hurts than starting Carson Wentz.
Maybe.
Jalen Hurts does not turn the ball over. That was his thing at Alabama. He doesn't turn the ball over.
Okay. Well, I just think...
I think you throw out... Kickers are literally coin flips. You throw that out.
Fair. I've got some good matchups. And James does, too, to his credit. That's one of the things I was also going to say.
His wide receivers have good matchups, but top 10...
And Mark Andrews.
Top 10 against... If he plays, right? I think he's still up in the air.
Is he questionable?
Maybe he's not. I know... Is he officially off the COVID list now?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. But no, Deshaun Watson plays against a top 10. Dalvin Cook against the top 5. Chris Carson, I thought had something going on, but it doesn't look like he has a designation now. Again, that's a middle of the road. Obviously, the wide receiver and tight ends is where he has some good matchups.
Yeah.
But Adam Thielen back. Adam Thielen's the guy in the red zone. Justin Jefferson, we'll see how he does.
So the big question is, moving back to the scoreboard, who you got? This is tough. Obviously, I don't think I'm speaking out of left field and saying that the favorite is James.
I think I have to give the nod to James.
I mean,
There's just so much of his team that I like. Like, quarterback spot, even though he's playing against a tough one, you obviously like Deshaun Watson more than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry's kind of a wash. I think Chris Carson, especially against the Jets, has the advantage over Jonathan Taylor. A.J. Brown and Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is obviously the better player.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I mean, here's the thing. Devontae, if I'm going to win this matchup...
A.J. Brown's no slouch, though.
No, but if I'm going to win this matchup...
I think you like Justin Jefferson more. I think you like Mark Andrews more. The flexes are... Obviously, I think I like the Saints defense more, and kickers are coin flips.
He's got the edge.
I think he has the edge. I think I have to lean James.
It comes down to Derek. It comes down to my team name, Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams. If they go off, I will win this game.
I will say this: if neither one of them goes above 20, there's no way you can win this matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think. Let me look at Dalvin Cook for a second. Like Dalvin Cook, his worst matchup of the season. There's only one time this year that he hasn't broken double digits. Derrick Henry and it was 2 weeks ago. Derrick Henry, that's happened 3 times to him, and one of them was last week against the Browns. So like,
okay, so one thing I will say that obviously Jacksonville's run defense is not good, so it's a good matchup for Derrick Henry regardless. But a bigger deal is that Jacksonville's also not a team that's going to jump out to a lead. Derrick Henry, reason he got you 5 points last week is because they were down 21-0 by the time they looked up.
Yeah,
I think it was like a defensive touchdown. Like immediately they were behind.
They're gonna pound.
He cannot catch the ball.
They're gonna pound the rock against Jacksonville. That's what they're gonna run.
They're not gonna go down early. So Derrick Henry could see 25 carries in this game.
And when he sees a lot of carries, usually he's getting at least a touchdown. He's usually getting some yardage. He's usually good. I'm picking myself. I have to pick myself in the playoffs. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, be a cuck and say, oh yeah, James is gonna fucking beat me again. Yeah, great. No, fuck you, James. I'm going to win and get revenge. I don't give a shit that you have a better team right now. Your team's gonna shit the bed. That's what's gonna happen. That's how I'm gonna win.
There's some luck in fantasy football.
His team is gonna have
the best team doesn't always win.
His team is gonna have a really bad fucking week this week. It's gonna be poetic justice. I'm gonna get past this round. I have to.
I kind of wish that he wasn't starting Mark Andrews. I don't know why, but especially because with COVID and everything, there being games on Tuesdays and being games on Wednesdays. Obviously, that's not going on this week. I think it's just
so far.
Is there a game on Tuesday this week?
No, I don't think so.
I can't remember if there is or not. Maybe there's not. But I just really like the idea of tomorrow night we will know who wins. I'm hoping that is the case, but obviously he has Mark Andrews, so for your matchup we probably will not.
Well, unless
he's already won.
So one of the interesting things about fantasy football, and I will move to the last matchup after this, but one of the interesting things about fantasy football that is when players play and how you if you're watching the games at home, how the scores will fluctuate, right? In this matchup, it'll be interesting. James is going to jump out to an early lead. He's just going to. I have Derrick Henry and Mike Gesicki.
He has 5 going in the 1 o'clock games. You have 2.
And the ones he has are Deshaun Watson, Dalvin Cook, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, and David Montgomery. If he's not winning at 4 o'clock, he's fucked.
Yeah. So there are no 8 p.m. You guys don't have any of the 8 p.m.s, but in the 4 o'clock games is where you need to make your mark.
That's where I will catch up. It's funny. This is it's like watching or predicting an election. I feel like I'm Chuck Todd. This is when we're gonna know these ballots come in. You look at these precincts. Here's what we're gonna say. No, I think at 4 o'clock that's when I need to come back because that's gonna be when I'm done, and he's still gonna have Mark Andrews left in the tank. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. The other matchup, obviously, you and McMillan.
Very close. Oh, actually, some of his guys have their projections have gone down because at one point it was 120 to 119.8.
Well, one of the big things is Julio Jones is obviously out.
I think that helps Calvin Ridley a little bit.
It not only does it help Calvin Ridley, but obviously it hurts McMillan. It's a kind of a double-edged. It hurts both ways there. And thankfully, he still has right now Alvin Kamara and James Conner, and he still right now has DeAndre Swift ?
Yeah, DeAndre Swift is still kind of up in the air. James Conner is also one where the Steelers have just gotten away from running the ball. And I hope that continues.
I feel like though the Steelers.
I'm not 100% that this is my starting lineup though. There might be some changes.
Well, let's look at the matchups on both sides. I'll start with McMillan's because I was curious about the Buffalo and Steelers because he's got 2 Steelers starting. Buffalo not as great against the run, but apparently great against wide receivers. Darren Waller gets one of his toughest draws of the year in Indianapolis against tight ends. DeAndre Swift has a great matchup if he plays, but
if he plays,
questionable.
and B, if he does play, he might be in a committee. He's missed multiple. Like again, CEH was sick, and then didn't play. Was on the team, was on the field, but didn't play.
Well, and also
DeAndre Swift is in the same boat.
New coaching staff too, because Matt Patricia's out. And you know they might cede carries to Adrian Peterson. It's certainly possible. Patrick Mahomes also doesn't have a great matchup. No, he doesn't. McMillan doesn't have a lot of good matchups here.
No. Something I was not.
He does get the Seahawks D against the Jets though, which has got to be nice.
That's pretty big. One thing that I did not look at before this, but now I'm about to click on it, just for the sake of it. Why can't I move this thing?
I'm actually surprised he's not starting Tyler Boyd.
Matthew Berry's rankings 1, 6, 18, 11, 12, 2, 13, 2, and 9. If I'm remembering correctly on my ranks, Aaron Rodgers was 2. Eckler and Jones were like 3, 4. I'm pretty sure both Keenan Allen and Calvin Ridley were top 10. So, like, he needs to hammer the tight end position and the defense position. That's where I think that's if he's going to win the matchup. Because I think it's obviously it's going to be close. I think it is going to be very close.
I'm looking at. I want to see what. So Connor's ceiling this season so far has been 22, and he hasn't broken 20.
That was also back when he was getting 20 touches a game.
Yeah, he hasn't broken 20 more than once. Kamara obviously has a.
He started hot as hell.
Much higher ceiling, and he's even had like 30 like a couple weeks ago. But he's been on a little bit of a downslide lately.
Yeah, it was 4 weeks ago.
Right, and that was a 2 touchdown performance.
And also,
3 touchdown performance.
Also, do you know when that was?
When?
That was when Drew Brees was quarterback.
Oh.
Since Taysom Hill's been quarterback?
Much lower production.
Because you know what Taysom Hill does? He runs the ball.
You're right.
Let's
check your matchups for a second. On the flip side, you said your team was built for the playoffs. You've got a couple really good ones, and then the rest are not so great.
So first of all, again, I'm not sure that I'm starting Chase Claypool. First of all,
what about Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers?
I'm starting Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is I'm starting Aaron Rodgers against Detroit.
Yeah, there's
no doubt. Lamar Jackson is so hit or miss, anyways.
Windows posting a video in the group.
Oh, okay. So no, Aaron Rodgers is right there. So Austin Eckler also catches the ball a fuck ton, and Atlanta does not play well against the pass.
Yeah.
So Austin Eckler gets catches. Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Best matchup you can get.
That is why I made this trade. Calvin Ridley is a little high, or a little low, but again, you got to remember
Julio's out.
My tight ends situations isn't amazing. I'm still going. I feel like I have to start Evan Ingram. Daniel Jones is back.
Hayden Hurst has also been extremely disappointing when Julio's out, and that's another reason I'm not starting him.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
The only other thing that the things that I'm still contemplating is like I still might start the Ravens instead of the Chiefs defense.
Any chance who would you start instead of Chase Claypool? Maybe Miles Sanders? I mean, he's got a bad matchup. But.
So this is why I was like really hoping that Mike Evans wasn't going to play. Look, 31st.
But what has AB done, like, in terms of scoring?
So he hasn't done a ton. So, like, here's the thing. His first week, it was, like, pretty weak. 3 catches, 31. But then, like, it was 7 for 69.
And no touchdowns.
Yeah, 8 for 57.
Yeah.
But then it was the Kansas City week where they just got destroyed by the Chiefs. Then they've had their bye. Like,
it's possible.
There's a lot of mouths to feed there.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady was trying to get him the ball. What was it? 8 targets in those 2 weeks. 21 targets in those 2 weeks.
You're right.
Obviously, Kansas City, they got their shit wrecked. But I don't know. Minnesota's not a great pass defense, obviously.
No.
So I might start Antonio Brown. I might start Miles Sanders in the flex. I might switch out my defense, and I might switch out my tight ends. I'm not 100% on those things yet. I'm still making some decisions.
I get it. I'm making some too.
But I'm, like I said, I think it's going to be really close. I think the big thing where McMillan can take a huge, where McMillan has his huge advantage, not huge,
tight end. Where
he could have the huge advantage is the defense and the tight end.
Right.
Those are the spots where he needs to really win in the matchup. This is your matchup.
Sorry, I'm moving it. I mean, also, I know Aaron Rodgers can go toe for toe, especially because I will say this.
I'm not worried about Aaron.
Aaron Rodgers has a great matchup.
Yeah, one or two.
Patrick Mahomes, the Miami defense is not bad.
No.
For once.
I think the quarterback situation here is a wash. I think I have a slight advantage in the running backs. I think I have a slight advantage in the wide receivers. He obviously has the bigger advantage at the tight end.
Yeah.
The flex, again, is just super questionable because I don't know who I'm starting. Does DeAndre Swift play? He obviously has the advantage at the defense spot. It's fucking close.
It is.
It's like when I say I have the advantage at running back and wide receiver, it's not like some huge advantage. Like,
I mean, obviously you're picking yourself.
it's very close. I didn't want to play McMillan. I did not want to play McMillan, but I am picking myself. I think it would be interesting though if I do end up leaving Claypool in there. Like, we'll each have one wide receiver. Oh no, he has James Conner. When I looked at it originally, James Conner was not in his starting lineup.
But it'll be interesting that you'll both be watching that Steelers game intently.
Yeah.
And also the Green Bay game too. There's actually a lot of games that you both have in common.
Yeah.
And the Atlanta game. Holy shit. Okay. I would say I'm gonna go McMillan, but I agree with you that it's extremely close.
I think it's close.
I think this is actually gonna be probably the closest game of the 4 games this week. But I also think that McMillan, I don't know what it is about this season. Like, he's had guys who can just drop, like with Darren Waller dropping 38, with Patrick Mahomes who could go all, like, he could, like, even as good as Miami is, like, in terms of the defense, their pass defense, Patrick Mahomes could just have himself a day.
But I will say, like, I also have players that can do that.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying you don't, but, like, McMillan all season, there's a reason that he's first in total points scored this season.
Yeah, no.
Like, he's had monster fucking
obviously,
games.
he can fucking do it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Your mouse is like confusing.
Like, Aaron Jones,
Aaron
Rodgers
obviously can do it.
I'm not saying you guys can't.
And look at who he did it against.
Detroit. Yep.
Big week. I'm just saying.
Great. You have perfect matchups
Aaron
in
Rodgers,
that regard.
I'm pretty sure he's had a 30-something point day. Well, I guess he's only broken 30 one time, but
I don't think this is like I think this, like I said, this is the closest game.
yeah, I think it's gonna be close.
Part of it is maybe part
Evan,
of it is
Evan
I'm picking.
Ingram gets Daniel Jones back too.
Part of it is I'm picking Jason because you picked James, and so I want to create a little banter. I want to have at least someone favored.
All right, let me ask you a question. Who would you rather play? If you
honestly, I'd rather play you. I'd rather not play you.
So you better start fucking rooting for me. Is what you need to do.
I know, that's a good point. I'd rather, I would much rather you win this matchup than McMillan. I just think he's had too many big games throughout the course of the season that, like, I don't want to bet against him because if he blows up, he's gonna win. Like, if his team's highest scores are bigger than any other team in the leagues.
Although, again, like, actually, I think we're pretty split on this too. We each have we have 2 1:00 games.
You will actually. One of the things you had asked for.
We each have 5 4:00 games, and we each have 2.
No, you each have 2 8 o'clock.
2 8 o'clock games.
You will know if
literally we will have similar matchups.
It depends. If you put the Ravens in, obviously that could change.
Yes.
If you put the Ravens defense in. But other than that, you will know if you don't put the Ravens in. You will know on Sunday night who's moving on in your matchup.
We will know. I'm pretty confident that we will know who it is by tomorrow night.
See, but I will say this. I like being able to do my what to watch fors.
I know you do, but I just
Right.
I don't want to deal with going to work on Monday thinking about, am I gonna fucking win my match?
Oh, trust me, I get it. It's miserable. I understand. I was in hell this past Sunday. So that's it. That's the podcast. Look forward to Window posting his video, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I don't really know what that's gonna be.
Don't know.
Alex, offers on the table. I know you don't want to get slapped 3 times, which could still happen.
Tick. If you slap him 3 times, can you do the How I Met Your Mother thing, where it's like, bam, bam, bam?
See, I don't know if I want to do it like that, or if I want to just kind of have my random moment where I can slap him whenever I feel like it.
Bam.
Who knows? Maybe I'll throw Adrian Peterson in there. I don't know. He's actually looked all right the last couple of weeks. What was he on the last 2?
What a piece of shit.
15 for 55 and 2 touchdowns, 16 for 57 and 2 touchdowns.
You know, he was on my bench for the longest time.
Yeah, I know you tried. I remember we had an event here. I don't remember which one it was, but you were trying to trade him away to McMillan. And McMillan's like, I have DeAndre Swift. Why would I want Adrian Peterson?
In case DeAndre Swift goes out. Famous last words.
But yeah, I don't know. Miles Sanders is still a possibility. Antonio Brown's still a possibility. Logan Thomas is still a possibility.
Lots of possibilities.
Baltimore defense is still a possibility. I don't know. It's tough to switch things around. Like,
well, here's the good news. If we get past this matchup, who do we have after that? I think it's.
I will have.
You'll have Window.
I'll have
and
Window.
I'll have Zach.
Yeah.
Much better matchups for us, I would say.
Like I said, Zach's team just kind of seemed to be looking worse. I'm not afraid of Windows' team.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I kind of been all year on this thing about how Zach's team is trash, and it would be kind of funny for me to beat him in the championship.
It'd be hilarious. It wouldn't be the championship. Oh, yeah, it would be the championship.
Yeah.
You're right.
It'd be kind of funny. It's like, see, I told you your team was trash. I mean, it just happened to be we're playing in the championship, but your team's trash. Although I'm actually like a little curious. I wish we had done a little bit more prep before we got into this. But like,
we can always look back.
Who was our like top three bottom
three?
Because I'm pretty sure that I
have to look back.
I think we both had Jason in the top three.
Yeah.
So
I know I had him in the top three.
No, I'm talking about Smith.
No, I had McMillan.
I know you had McMillan. I had Window up there. I think we
I
both had Jason because we
Window.
looked at Jason Smith's team and was like, yeah, he made a really dumb mistake drafting Lamar Jackson, but like his team looked so good at the beginning.
I think my top three were you, McMillan, and I don't know if it might have been Zach. I don't know who the third.
I don't think
one
you
was.
had Zach up there.
I don't know who the third one was.
I had Zach in my bottom three.
I know that Daryl was actually my bottom three.
We'll have to go back and
Zach,
look at it.
or I'm sorry, a Window was in my bottom three. I fucked that one up.
Yeah.
And
I said he hammered home his first three picks. That was my whole thing about his team.
Maybe James. Maybe I had James there. I don't know. I don't remember. We'll have to look it up.
I'm pretty sure I had Brad in my bottom three.
Yeah.
I don't remember about Alex actually.
Yeah. Oh, and it was also like I think we did like a bottom three, bottom four. Like we were kind of like
Yeah, we were kind of
agreeing.
with it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But
so for the next one, are you gonna cross out people who get eliminated?
absolutely, that's why I'm gonna keep doing it. Yeah, I did that. So we have obviously you see the logo above us right now, and I'm gonna keep crossing people out as they get eliminated. So until there's only what?
So
four
if
left,
everything
then
goes
two
the way
left,
it should,
then one.
it'll just be 2 more X's up here.
Where?
Like right in here.
Fuck you. Eat a dick. Do you really want to play James?
No.
X here.
I have no plans on playing James.
X here. There we go.
All right.
And then X here, X here. You and I for the championship. How about that?
We've never played in it. Have we ever played?
Yes,
the
we
playoffs?
have. You beat me in the championship, season 3.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Fuck you. Asshole.
I like my chances then.
Yeah, dick. And then, by the way, if you had read the blurbs that I so eloquently post on Facebook, you know that not only did you beat me in season 3 in the championship, then we played each other in season 4 in the first round of the playoffs, and you beat my ass then too, and more than double my score.
Yeah.
Piece of
That was
shit.
when I was on that stretch where I should have won 3 championships in a row, but I kept benching my stud quarterback.
Yeah.
It was a mistake. I benched Colin Kaepernick for Josh Freeman. Josh Freeman dropped 40 against the Saints. And then,
Windows said the video's live. Let's pull
all
it
right,
up.
let's get our live reaction on the podcast of his video.
Let's do it. Please see the group. No, where else would we go? Thought I'd go to Google.
Google, where is Windows video?
Good luck to all in the...
What
Are
the
the playoffs single
fuck?
elimination?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna rewind it and turn the sound on.
Did he print off pictures?
I think is this like an effigy or something? He's playing a funeral dirge.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that's all right. I do love this. This is awesome.
Did you not know that this is where this was going?
I just put it together.
Alex is still alive.
That's a picture of Alex playing in our band. This is so great. I love it. Brad's
out of it. Brad's in the sack. Brad's gone.
That's so great. I like how Daryl and Nick have the side to sides too. That's amazing. Well done, Window. Kudos. I love it. I love it. That is great content. I'm gonna throw a love on this right now. And I'm gonna throw a comment too. Bam. I think I did it. That's awesome. Holy shit. That's well done, Window. Credit where credit's due. I can't wait to actually see that as it goes on. That's a great tradition. I hope he keeps doing that.
Just need the ones that are currently on the screen. We just need both of those candles to go out.
Oh, dick. I would say, like I said, next week we want. Where are they? That's a picture from Rachel and Nick's wedding.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
That's Lizzie's wedding.
No. Actually, I think it's Josh Street's wedding. I want to say. Man. We need that candle going out. We need that candle going out right there. Those are the two. Sweet picture of you, by the way.
Yeah, I was on a boat in Paris.
It's like the author's picture.
I was looking at the Eiffel Tower, bro.
Yeah. All right. Good luck to all in the playoffs, except for James. You know, let's see what happens. It'll be interesting.
Sorry,
Yeah.
bro.
Sucks to suck.
Y'all don't deserve it.
But I'm looking forward to putting 2 more.
Also, James, if you see this before tomorrow, come on down, watch the games with us.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be down from New York.
I mean, we could just go up there, watch the games with them.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to go to New York during COVID.
Why not?
COVID?
Why not?
Why don't we do this? But also, hey, can we...
It's like a 99.9% survival rate.
What? Yeah, all right, fair enough. Touche. One more thing before we actually wrap up, because I forgot to mention this. Can we do another poker night? Or like can we do like a league like Among Us or something?
Yeah, let's do a poker game. I want to take everybody's money.
If you want... I have Venmo transactions that'll say otherwise.
I'll play heads up.
No, not even a little bit. No, seriously, so 2 things. One, we should definitely do a poker night. I'll try to post on there about that. I know it's hard with the holidays and everything, but we should try to get something on there, you know what I mean?
It's Wednesday night. Let's do it.
I'm down. And the other thing, too, is... yeah, during the blizzard. There we go.
There's a blizzard?
Yeah, on Wednesday there's going to be a lot of snow.
There's a potential for a large snowstorm. Like up to 18 inches.
The other thing is, we talked about it. I posted on Facebook about it today. If you're going to get NHL or FIFA or Madden at some point, you may want to consider doing it this weekend. They are 50% off, essentially, for the base copies. It's like $30 instead of $60.
I mean, if we can get enough people, I would like to do the Madden League.
Brad and Zach talked about, FIFA, I think, and NHL.
Brad, I know, already has FIFA. I think Brad didn't say anything about Madden, but I mean, like I said, I'd like to do the Madden League. I think that's fun.
Love to do the Madden League. I would also, like I said,
FIFA. Brad and I have already played a little bit. We played a bit of the
FIFA?
No, we played the OG Halo campaign.
Oh, nice. I was just say, like, obviously I'm a huge FIFA fan, but NHL, Alex, Burchak McMillan and I all played.
Because you only need 6 for that, right?
You only need 6, and Burchak McMillan and I already have played together for a while. Yeah. It's actually pretty fun. Like we get our ass kicked.
I mean, in theory,
if it's
fun. If it's like you, Alex, McMillan,
you, Zach, and Brad is 6.
I know Jason does also still have a.
Well, if we have other interests, again, FIFA, man, we have lots of possibilities. But if you're gonna do it, maybe consider doing it this weekend because again, half off. You're saving a ton of money, or spending a ton of money, depending on your perspective. All right, that's our show. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next week when we talk about our wins.
Yeah. Hopefully. Also, I don't know if we could. Maybe it's too late. Sorry, I'm like jumping back into this. Maybe it's too late. But what I talked about, like double matchup for the Sacco. If we can get like a unanimous vote on that this week, would everybody like? I feel like we should implement it right away. If we can get like a unanimous vote.
If it's unanimous.
Again, this isn't about like the playoffs with the money and everything. It's like this is the bottom thing. Like,
since this is your brainchild. I will let you post on Facebook about it if we can get a unanimous vote. Yeah.
So unanimous among the people who are in it, or
unanimous among the people who are in it, because it's only the people who are in it who really
who cares if people in the playoffs if they decide to do a double matchup for the Sacco.
Daryl, Brad, Alex, and Jason Smith all consent to it, we will implement it this year for a 2-week Sacco.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I have no dog in the fight here. I just think I think it will make it more fun to add the extra week of suspense to it.
I agree, but it'll be your brainchild. So you got to post on Facebook about it. All right, that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And I'm like doing that YouTube thing.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Okay, I just want to make sure. She giggled, and I thought I want to make sure. Anyway, have a great week. He just seems